Hello and welcome to Give Me the Remote. It's episode 52 and it is Tuesday the 15th of October 2019. I'm Sheridan and I'm joined in the pod by John.
Hello everybody, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful time of day in which they choose to listen to this podcast. Or night.
Yes.
And congratulations Sheridan on 2 perfect intros in a row. You're really getting the hang of this now after 52 episodes.
I'm really nailing it.
Yeah, now the cat's getting onto the microphone. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, what are we talking about first?
Let's talk about the politician.
Oh, we're getting into the heavy one first. Okay.
Payne's possibly a homosexual.
Astrid is a raging bigot.
I don't understand. Why calling that gay man a butt munch was such a scandal. That's what gays do. Munch butts and celebrate Halloween.
I want that trophy.
This is a weird show.
Well, so basically takes a lot of cues from a lot of other
Yeah, so Rushmore
series.
election, where high school politics and the race to be a school president is used as an allegory for broader political issues in society. This more so than most.
Correct. So the lead character, whose name is escaping me,
Peyton.
this will be a bit embarrassing, plays I think it's safe to say he's bisexual. There's a lot of gender fluidity in this show.
It's the kids
These
today.
Kids, they're just sort of open and free.
Yep.
Not like us, all pent up and...
Are you pent up?
Well, no, but...
I thought you were just not into chicks.
I'm just saying they've got a lot more options.
They've got more options, and it's great that people who do feel that gender fluidity can feel it. At the same time, a lot of us are, to some regret, just boringly cisgender, aren't we?
Maybe you wouldn't be if you grew up today, though.
Heteronormative. I don't honestly feel there was a lack of opportunity for me on that front.
I think we're digressing very significantly from
I think it's important. The point is, it accurately depicts what young people today are up to, which is there is a lot of gender fluidity, and that's cool.
Yeah, and you don't have to be like the masculine macho dude to be the kind of hero of the story. I mean,
You can be a masculine macho dude and still like dudes. In fact, go back through Greek heroic history, but yeah.
Yes, true. Okay. Anyway, so he's a budding politician. He basically he's set a goal in life, and that's to become the president of the United States.
Which is one of those things, everyone you meet with that kind of goal is a very tiresome individual, and Peyton is no exception to that rule.
True, but he's apparently very, very good at campaigning and winning elections.
Well, he's not. He never wins anything.
We won't spoil it.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, he and his friends are all bought into this dream, and they're going to... they've got a plan how all of them are going to go together as a team and become president, and then they get stuck in the weeds of actually becoming just school president of the most lavishly endowed high school in all the world.
True. There's a lot of moral tests that they have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
That I guess is similar to what would happen if you were really a political candidate running for president. You have to decide whether you're going to be ruthless with your friends or take the moral high ground.
Yeah, for me, that wasn't the most interesting part of the show. I think some of the stuff about campaigning and choices and targeting of campaigns and messaging, you could watch this, you could watch Veep, you could watch The West Wing, you'll get the same of that. What this did that I haven't seen too many other places is dealing with the aftermath of failure. And we won't say where the failure is or when it is, but what happens to prodigies when they fail to realise their potential, because almost every young prodigy does fail to realise their potential.
Yes.
And it's really quite touching in this, the way they go about portraying that, and for me the show actually became much more interesting once it moved into that phase.
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely... I think the problem with the show is it kind of skirts this line of trying to be clever and intellectual and just being a soap opera.
Yeah, there's a bit of Beverly Hills 90210 to it.
There's definitely a lot of
Yeah.
teenage high school drama in there.
Yeah, and also, aren't they all beautiful?
Yeah. They're very well dressed.
Oh, unbelievably well dressed.
And I don't know where this high school is, but it has
Santa Barbara.
really, really rich kids and really poor kids just mixing together.
Yeah.
Which in America is not
as uncommon.
Yeah.
Certainly because of the way schools are funded in the US, which is quite unusual by the local communities. You do. I mean, it leads to terrible outcomes because wealthy communities have these amazing high schools with equestrian courses and swimming pools, and in a uniformly less well-to-do community, the high schools are terrible, and that just it's no accident that breeds ongoing inequality. But I'm not sure it's necessarily a better or worse system than what we do in this country, where the rich kids all go into private schools and the public system. It's still doing pretty well in this country, but is in danger of becoming an underfunded.
Yeah, well, they
system.
don't have equestrian. What is an equestrian?
An equestrian course. It's
Course
for horse riding.
No, I know what it is, but I didn't know what it was called. Like, is it a field I
well,
didn't know the.
Yeah, you have courses. They're called courses. Yeah, but you also have stables, of course. If you're gonna have horses, you gotta have stables.
Yeah, you just go all out.
And then you need stable hands,
The kids don't do
that. No. Kids who can afford horses don't look after the horses. Some do. Before you write in, I know some do. In many ways, the setup to season 2 was my absolute favourite bit of the show, which I found slightly annoying that it was only when they were setting things up for the next episode that they really went from being okay to great.
There's some really big name actors in it, though.
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow has a huge role.
And a very good character.
Yeah.
I think she plays
Which
it well.
does, in many ways, is taking the Mickey out of herself.
Jessica Lange's in it. Bette Midler's in it, which you never see Bette Midler anymore, so that was fun.
Yeah.
January Jones from Mad Men. There's a rumour that Barbara Streisand's going to go in season 2.
Oh, she'd be good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a great cast. It struggles a bit between walking the line being allegory for grown-up politics and being a high school drama. And I'm sure it's done deliberately, but even the poor people's homes in this are these amazing gothic piles prone to dramatic camera angles.
Yes.
Which it does not match my expectation of even middle-class existence. Yeah, but
I think it's quite a fun show.
It's interesting in that if it was just a superficial high school drama, it would not be getting the reaction that I'm getting in political circles where everyone is asking, have you seen it?
I think to enjoy it as an adult, you have to be into politics.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think a lot of what's going on is probably a bit dull.
Yeah.
I think it's got some flaws. I mean, like all my ongoing issue with Netflix seasons, they pad them out to 10 episodes, and you do find at that episode 6-7 point, it's getting pretty dull. It's a lull. There's a lull in the stream
Well,
the
this one
binge
really
watching.
it jags so dramatically in the midpoint. You basically feel that the story's ended, and then they start a whole new story with the same characters.
I know. I thought we'd ended the season actually.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. But then it was like, oh, we've got more.
Got more. Yeah. But all in all, we were really watching it hard towards the end.
True. But I think that was a bit because we thought it was over and we kept watching it going, this is the last episode, but no, it wasn't.
Yeah, but while the first couple of episodes you're a bit, what's going on? Why do I care about these super rich kids who seem really unlikable? Also, the unlikable kids in general, there's a few that stay unlikable, do become more likable as you get to know them.
True.
And there's a couple where, like, in the midpoint, it's like, that character's really undeveloped, and then they do bring them on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I'd give this 4 stars, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 4 stars too.
No worries.
We never give anything 2 stars.
Yeah, we do.
It's rare.
Well, stuff that bad really gets made. So what's next?
I don't know.
You don't know? Let's do A Star Is Born.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Okay.
Tell me something, girl.
Do you write songs or anything?
I don't sing my own songs.
So Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
So I've watched this movie twice now. I saw it in the cinema, and then I rewatched it with you for the purpose of this podcast. It does not improve.
Yeah, I imagine it doesn't. It barely worked for me once through.
One of the things that I really liked about it in the cinema that I just do not think translated in living room is so it follows the story. I mean, it's a show
It's
that's
the
been,
third time this movie's been made, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it might even be fourth.
Right.
There's a lot. It's been remade.
Every
a lot.
generation has its Star is Born. Yep.
So it follows Bradley Cooper, who plays a really big time musician, and he discovers Lady Gaga. Well, not actually Lady Gaga, but
She's quite Lady Gaga-esque, though. And it is, in fact, played by Lady Gaga. So I think you can be forgiven for drawing that inference.
yeah, she does play it like Lady Gaga. So Jackson is his name, and Ali is her name.
Mm-hmm.
But so he's like a kind of, well, what sort of equivalent would he be in? Like,
Garth Brooks, I'm thinking, is probably the closest thing to him. But
yeah, so he's playing these huge stadium events, and so they'd film these
with a sort of country rock vibe with the back blocks they're playing to with that.
Yeah, so they film these really amazing auditorium or huge stage scenes.
So you felt those big sets work better on the big screen?
Yeah, and they film them from the point of view of the people performing on the stage. So they're looking out onto the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that there's some very conventional establishing shots and panning shots where they take the perspective through the crowd to get to the
But I
stage,
think that when you're in the cinema, you really actually got a sense of what it would like to be on one of those stages because it's so immersive with the screen.
Yeah, I felt the size of the screen even watching it on a TV, which is a mid-sized TV by my
Yeah, I guess maybe it was when I saw it in the cinema. I was like, "Wow, this is amazing! Like these are amazing scenes."
Okay. I didn't feel the lack of it myself watching it through without that.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Anyway, so he kind of creates her into a star, and then he turns into a douchebag, and
I think he was always a douchebag.
True. He is. I was going to say borderline abusive, but I'm just going to say he's abusive.
Yeah, I mean, although obviously, as we won't spoil it, but he has significant personal issues of which he is quite upfront, and
But having like a mental health issue or like an alcohol problem or drug dependency doesn't give you a right to be a douche.
Doesn't give you a right to it, but it can sometimes explain it. Anyway, moving on from that, I felt for mine, some of the songs in this are really good. And it can be quite magical at times. It succeeds at that level.
And she's just got an amazing voice and stage presence.
Oh,
obviously.
yeah, well, he's literally Lady
I've
Gaga.
never actually been a Lady Gaga fan, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've found it really frustrating as an artist because I've always really liked what she wants to do. So I've liked her style and that kind of, she has all these crazy costumes and she's always doing something quite different to ordinary pop stars. But I've just always thought her music is rubbish.
Generally they're very well constructed pop songs in that they can be redone by multiple different genres and styles and they still hold up. Poker Face is a masterful pop song.
Yeah, see, it just does nothing for me.
For a start. I mean, it's not on my favourites list when Apple Music generates it weekly, but I can appreciate the quality of the songwriting. And also I really love Lady Gaga's bond with her audience. I've just happened to have been in pubs when the Lady Gaga fans are having a few drinks before the show, and the way they're all in the outfits, it feels great just to even be around them.
That's one of the things that I really like about her, and she's been amazing for like making, queer kids and like all different types of people feel accepted. She's got this really inclusive message.
Yeah, so if the music's not for you, that doesn't detract from her.
No, I know, but that's what I find it really annoying though, because I'm like, I would actually really like to listen to her music because I think she's so cool. Mm-hmm. But then I listen to her music and I'm like, I don't like that at all.
Fair enough. getting back to the movie, what I kind of... There's this arc you get in this style of movie where the unlikely couple meet, and then they have a happy time, and then there's a rough patch, and then there's some kind of resolution. That's a very pedestrian, well-trodden pathway for any sort of romantic
And
movie.
this movie's been remade 4 times for a reason.
Yeah. For mine, there wasn't enough of the good times, and I thought they could have given us more of that.
Yeah, because he's basically just a loser the whole time.
There's like one motorcycle ride together when things are happy, and
basically their first date, their first night together, they're kind of happy. Although he's completely
passed
drunk.
out drunk. Yeah.
It's this kind of interesting juxtaposition though of someone who has like stardom has like put him in its mouth, chewed him up, and spat him back out again.
I don't think he has much to complain about though.
No, but like he's broken from it all, and she's just starting, and so they're at such different points in their life, but they have this like.
But that's
musical,
common. That's common in a lot of relationships when people meet each other when they're at the same point, but they're going in different directions, and that's always a bit of a tragedy because in that moment, everything works for them, and then as they keep going in their different directions, everything gets worse and worse. Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been there one time or another with different things.
I just really didn't like. For me, I felt it sort of glamorized some pretty unacceptable masculine behaviour.
Yeah, for me, it just... I mean, I would say Leaving Las Vegas is a very similar movie to this in a lot of the themes. Less good singing.
I was going to say, there's no happy time songs.
There's no happy time songs, but I would say there's more happy time in Leaving Las Vegas, and that's a grim movie. I
don't think this is as grim as that.
No, but there's less happy time in this.
Yeah, you just feel sorry for her the whole time. I did.
Oh, she becomes super famous and super rich and feels uncomfortable with all the adoration. I didn't have as much sympathy for her as they were maybe trying to generate.
I actually liked the relationship between him and his brother.
Yeah, I don't feel that was very well explained.
I really liked the brother.
Yeah, that was Sam Elliott, wasn't
it?
Yeah, who I think Sam Elliott is
a really amazing actor and really charismatic
presence. And I mean, obviously, The Big Lebowski is one of his great cameos, and for mine, his role as General Buford in Gettysburg is absolutely one for the ages. I
think the thing about this film, though, even though I've got like a lot of problems with it. At the end of the day, this is actually fundamentally a good film. You put it on, it's well paced, the acting's really good. The story, even though it's nothing really that original, it's tried and tested. The music is actually pretty good.
The music's great and multi-genre as well. So there's a little bit for everyone in it.
It's quite a I think interesting.
I could have done with
stardom.
more of their duets. Their duets were so good.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper can sing, apparently.
Yeah. I would also say, sorry, just going back to Election, which we discussed, the bits when Peyton sings... Sorry, the politician. Yeah, my apologies. The bits when Peyton sings are really good.
Yeah, he's got a good voice.
I mean, I don't know if they got someone else to sing or whatever that was, but really, really good. So two good movies... Well, that was a show. This is a movie. Surprising amount of singing going on in this podcast, or... Not going on this podcast. We're talking about singing. That's nearly as good. So, how many stars for A Star Is Born, Sheridan?
I think I'll have to give it 4 stars.
4 stars? Oh, for me, there's just too much cringy misery.
I effectively watched the film twice.
Yeah, and you're still giving it 4 stars. There you go.
I mean, I didn't really... Yeah. I didn't sort of tune out of it the second time.
Okay, fair enough. I'm only going to give it 3.
Yeah, right. Why are you taking it off? What's the...
I just felt for the amount of unpleasant cringe in it, it needed to give me...
What's the cringe, though?
Like when he's at the awards ceremony. And then, yeah, this is... I guess as a dude who has at times embarrassed himself by drinking too much, I've found some...
Little too relatable.
Little too relatable on that, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure you should be advertising that for people.
Well,
that don't have
you're the one
it.
who wanted to know where the stars had gone, Sheridan, so...
I think everyone cringes at that moment, actually.
Mm.
All right, cool.
So what's next, Sheridan?
El Camino.
A Breaking Bad movie.
You ready? Yeah.
The subtitle was a little...
Just to make sure you knew what this was about.
Aaron Paul wasn't that recognisable on the cover. They were like, let's just hammer that home. So it follows Jesse's story after...
Jesse Pinkman.
Jesse Pinkman's story.
Now, Aaron Paul won, correct me if I'm wrong, 4 Emmys in a row for Best Supporting Actor in a Series for his role of Jesse in Breaking Bad.
I think that's right.
It is an absolute record and a astonishing testament to his performance in that character.
Yes, I really like him, or I really like this character.
Well, I like Aaron Paul in BoJack as well, where it's a
True.
somewhat similar character, but
more bit more innocent though.
not entirely more innocent. He's capable of some pretty dastardly stuff, but yeah, it's so. I mean, you know, we're kind of assuming you've watched Breaking Bad, and if you haven't watched Breaking Bad,
I'm not sure you'd get a lot out of this movie.
if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, don't watch this movie. Absolutely, go watch Breaking Bad because you should, and you should have. Interesting. I thought that this is on Netflix, considering that Breaking Bad, at least in Australia, is famously not on Netflix.
Yeah, so it's on AMC, I think.
Yeah, and Better Call Saul is on Stan in Australia, which is the last spin-off from Breaking Bad.
So it wasn't AMC/Netflix production.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. I guess whatever deal happened there. To
And it was certainly, I mean, it was interesting, and I found it really annoying that they did use long sequences of footage out of Breaking Bad in this.
They didn't. I thought that too, but they didn't.
Didn't they?
No, they were all reshoots.
Oh, wow. Even the stuff in the Nazi torture dungeon.
Yeah.
Okay. There's long sequences that felt like they were old footage from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, so I think that's the amazing thing, that they got all the actors back. They even got...
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Well, I feel very strongly that this is a setup for a new Breaking Bad series with Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't...
Because the only thing this movie really achieves narrative-wise is getting Jesse out of Arizona and into the cabin in the woods in Alaska.
But in this, it's revealed that... I think this is a spoiler. It's revealed that Bryan Cranston's...
No, police thought he was dead because that was part of the cover of getting him out of there. Just because it was reported on TV that he was dead doesn't mean he's actually dead.
No. I've totally forgotten what's his character's name. Bryan Cranston's character's name.
Heisenberg. Walter White.
Yes.
You forgot Walter White.
Look, you just put me on the spot and I got really stage fright or something. Anyway, it's revealed in that he died.
I don't think it's actually revealed that he actually died.
Yes, it is.
I think it's revealed that the police thought he died. And that's a very important distinction.
But there was a body.
Yeah, a body, not necessarily his body.
I don't know about that.
The police thought it was his body.
I don't think they're doing a new series.
I'll bet you $10. Can we shake on that across the across the pod?
Virtual shake. Okay. Oh, real shake.
Hands are shaking. There's $10 riding on this.
So apparently, though,
within the next 5 years, shall we say? I bet you there's going to be something.
Yeah, I disagree. For one, they're too old.
Yeah, it'll be yeah. Anyway, go on.
Vince Gilligan apparently had the idea for this film during the last season of Breaking Bad. So he already had the, Jesse's through story worked out.
Yeah.
But because it was apparently just so secretive that they filmed it in Arkansas, where the original one was filmed.
Arizona, you mean?
Sorry, Arizona. It's an A-sounding name. I've really stuffed up on the names tonight. I'm very tired.
So Arizona's out in the American west in the desert, and Arkansas is a wooded and forested and hilly place.
So apparently, and so there's a scene where they're both together,
Yeah.
Jesse and Walter. So they had to enter an agreement that they would never go outside during the filming, and they definitely wouldn't go outside together, so
Right.
there'd be no rumors.
Okay.
So people wouldn't, know there was a Breaking Bad sequel coming.
Yeah.
So, they're pretty good at covering things up, so maybe
It was a big surprise to me when the pre-publicity started. I think it was a big surprise to everyone. It was very, very clever publicity. Somebody like, oh, and here's a Breaking Bad movie. What? It's grim and tense, though, isn't it?
So basically the whole film, to me, is just putting Jesse in really, really uncomfortable, high-tension situations. And it's a little draining as a film, I have to say.
It's extremely draining.
Gilligan is amazing at creating high tension, though. Like, that's effectively what a lot of Breaking Bad was about.
Yeah.
There's amazing scenes about
Better
them
Call
getting
Saul was a
caught.
very different pace, which is nice
Yes.
to see them do something different.
But this is just scene after scene of relentless tension and anxiety. Like, I felt anxious watching this film.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And, the stakes in this world are very high. People get very badly hurt. People get killed.
The stakes are very high for Jesse.
Yeah. Interesting, Robert Foster, this was his, I believe, last role. Like, he literally died as it was being...
We heard that he died while we were watching it.
Yeah.
Which was really kind of creepy, actually, I have to say.
Yeah.
Kind of made you feel like, did I do that?
No, you didn't do that.
No, I know.
Or did you? Anything else you want to say about it?
Oh, look, I mean, I just think this is... I don't even know how to rate this, because basically...
It's not even a movie. It's just a trip down memory lane.
I mean, I was so grateful
It's fan
for
service,
it.
really, isn't it?
Yeah, I was so grateful for it as a fan. Like, I really needed it.
Hmm.
But I don't know if it's actually an amazing... I don't know if it's an amazing film or if it's a mediocre film or, like, I don't know what, but I enjoyed watching it.
It's not a film as a conventional piece of storytelling. I feel like it's just a bridge to get us from the end of Breaking Bad to something new, at least with Jesse Pinkman, even if they don't use Walter White as a character.
One thing I will say, though, is because the film, is him right after the Breaking Bad ended,
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Paul is kind of looking a little bit old.
They're going to need to move the story forward a few years.
They're going to have to put some filters or something on there. He's a very good-looking man, but he's just got a few too many crow's feet to be.
Well, he did spend a lot of time in a Nazi torture dungeon.
Yeah, I guess hard living probably. I don't know. Yeah, he's just a little bit old, I think. So what are you going to give it?
Are we done talking about it?
Oh, sorry. What else you got to say about it?
I really wanted to find out what happened to Badger and Skinny.
I know. I really liked the little bromance that was going on. I thought that was one of the best things about this film.
It was actually because the introduction is Jesse turning up at his old drug dealing friend's house, and they spend quite a bit of time where it's just the two of them playing driving games and shouting at each other and calling each other
Yes.
the rude names that gentlemen call each other while they play computer games together. And then fugitive Aaron Paul turns up and that interaction I really enjoyed.
Skinny, on the other hand, just looks the same age as what he always did.
He did look very old to begin.
Yeah. That weird sort of ageless meth addict.
But, Badger's off to dump a car at the Mexican border, and I felt like finding out whether he made it back was something I would have liked to know.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there? I don't think there's a single female in this. They do bring back the female pharmaceutical company worker for a tiny bit.
And there is the dead maid.
I don't think you can characterize a dead woman as a
the
female
Bechdel test
character.
doesn't approve of that.
I think that fails several tests.
I can't think of a single female character in this whole movie.
I have to say...
except for the dead ones.
Gilligan's never been very good
Great
at
with
the
the ladies?
female characters.
No.
I mean, Walter White's wife was one of the most hated TV characters ever.
I was going to say it was barely a character, more just a cipher. But yeah.
She became much more prominent in the later seasons, though.
Yeah, but only because she was letting down the team.
But just not very well written.
Up your game, Gilligan. You're leaving out half the world. On the other hand, everyone loves his show so much he doesn't need to listen. He's certainly not going to listen to us.
True.
How many stars?
I want to know what you're going to give it first.
I'm not telling.
I think I'm gonna have to give it 4 stars.
Yeah, I'm leaning to 4 stars, which is weird because it's
I've given everything 4 stars tonight.
Yeah,
I'm like in a jolly mood.
It's not a movie. Like, there's no way if they release this as a cinematic outing, people would want their money back for their tickets.
Unless you're Breaking Bad fans.
Yeah, but you'd still be upset about paying $11.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I would have watched it in the cinema.
It's kind of perfect Netflix fare, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you just put it on, and you get your Breaking Bad fix.
I kind of almost would have liked to have seen perhaps like a 3-episode thing.
Yeah, I don't think that
They would have needed more story.
I was going to
but...
say there wasn't enough story. There was barely enough story for what they did.
Yeah, no, you're right. Maybe a 2-episode. I don't know. I don't know.
Anywho,
What are you giving it?
I'm going to give it 4 stars just because I'm a massive Breaking Bad fan, and I really like seeing Jesse Pinkman and finding out what he's up to.
Yeah.
And that world of Arizona and New Mexico that Vince Gilligan's brought to life is just such a... and they do the classic thing in this where they're having to bury bodies out in the deep desert. And
I don't know how anyone doesn't discover you when you do that.
well, you just dig another hole then, don't you?
But they can run away really easily.
Can't outrun bullets. It's one of those things you do think if you came across someone who was busy digging a hole to bury a body, it'd be a very awkward moment, wouldn't it?
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, it was bad enough when I came across some guys stealing a bicycle a couple of years ago. But it's just like, I'm just going to go now. And they're like, that's a good idea. It's like, okay. And to whoever owned that bicycle, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to lose my teeth. Cool. So 4 stars from both of us. And we'd like to thank you for listening to this podcast. Once again, do please send us your emails to gmtrpodcast@gmail.com. We absolutely love it if you can give us reviews and stars on the Apple Podcasting app or whatever podcasting vehicle you use to listen. And, feel free to chat to us in the comments. Not that we generally reply that much because most of the people who want to chat to us are a bit scary, but... well, off you go then, Sheridan. You go chat to them now.
I just never go on the Facebook page.
Okay, and yeah, thank you to all the Tolkien fans who signed up. That was fantastic. We'll if there's ever anything Tolkien related to talk about, I guarantee we'll be first with it for you. All right, folks. Thank you and good night.
Thanks, folks.